As a parent, you want to give your kids the things you didn't have, right? So like, for instance, I have photos of my sister, but I don't have a single video of her, and it's still something I wish for. My goal is to make sure Reagan won't have to say the same thing. We had a lot of things in common. We both like to hike, we both like to be outside. Our first date was going out on a hike.
On that first date, we talked about core values and a lot of stuff aligned. As you get older, you know what's important and what matters and what you want in someone. I was ready, and that's something I've always wanted. I just didn't know if Dan was ready.
4 pounds, 15.4 ounces. She's itty bitty.
You know her, you love her, it's Peanut. Peanut. Great smiles, P. Big smiles. Not only Kristen and I being able to continue that, but now bringing in Ava, we took her all over creation. Look at you, Peanut. You ready for adventure?
Ready.
My favorite memories was took the days off and we hiked and we had this beautiful, sunny, gorgeous day. And that was 2 to 3 months before her actual diagnosis, although we knew something was up. It was before things really hit us.
At the 1-year checkup, the doctor said, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm very concerned. You know, at the time, she was given a blanket diagnosis of CP, or cerebral palsy, and she got put into physical therapy, and we were in therapy, physical, occupational, speech. We were in the hospital on average about 3 times a week, and that continued on for months.
I thought we'd maybe come home with some glasses for Ava, those cute rubbery ones that stay on her face. And we got pretty much like the worst thing you could get at any appointment ever with your kid. It was an eye doctor. She saw something in the look on her face.
The optometrist had discovered little cherry red dots in the back of her eyes.
She said she had seen it one other time in her life, and most eye doctors never see it.
While those children may appear normal and healthy at birth, children affected with Tay-Sachs begin to stop meeting their milestones approximately at about the 6-month age range. These children will become blind, paralyzed, and they will suffer seizures daily. From that point on, it is a complete and total regression until death.
There she is. Look at you. Ava, you's a bird.
At one of Ava's appointments before she was 2, we had talked to the neurologist, and he'd mentioned we would qualify for Make-A-Wish. Ava needs to be 2 or 2.5, whatever the minimum was, but we weren't quite there. Thinking of Ava's future is just, it's difficult. So even thinking out a year or half a year was like, well, I'm not gonna even think about that. It's just too tough.
We'd take Ava out on her wheelchair and out on her strollers as much as we could, but we certainly weren't, we weren't hiking mountains and we weren't going camping and stuff that we used to do.
The rough terrain.
As Ava grew and the disabilities became harder to manage, that's become more of a challenge for us. She's susceptible to getting sick, so even the common cold can be really tough on Ava. It's exhausting on her, it's exhausting on us, and it could mean, a week in the hospital. People say, how do you do it? Like, I wasn't given a choice. You're not given a choice. You don't, you just do. Like, simply put, and any parent would do what you had to or what you could for your kid. So you do. You're not given a choice.
Tay-Sachs is considered an ultra-rare disease. In America, 1 out of 250 people are a carrier of the disease. Carriers have 2 copies of the gene, one healthy and one damaged. When creating an embryo, there are 4 possible outcomes of equal chance. The embryo can receive both healthy copies, one healthy copy and one damaged copy from each parent, or both damaged copies. This means with each pregnancy, our odds of producing another affected child like Ava is 25%.
I can't put her too hard just because she's still attached to you down there, but just hold her like that. You did so great. So strong.
I don't know if she'll ever realize like how important she is. Ava's pediatrician came by and she said, "We're giving the kids we need." I don't think that could be any more true for Reagan. In the midst of everything we're doing with Ava, Reagan's just happy and easy, and that's exactly what we need. Sister love. You have a sister. I was always curious what Ava would do when she'd hear her sister, whether, new noises would freak her out, would maybe cause a seizure. So as soon as we brought Reagan home, she's just wailing, and Ava lights up like this biggest smile. Like, I don't know what else could make Ava that happy. Make-A-Wish got a hold of us. Ava's eligible. What would you guys like to do? It was hard to figure out what can we do with a special needs kid and what's safe for her and how do we still get out. Our first thought was Maui because Dan and I had been there a couple times. Ava had been there once before, and we just thought that would be a great place for Ava. So we're looking at what can we do in Alaska with Ava to make new memories and just enjoy time with her.
The Redfields like to camp, and Ava likes being outside. She likes to feel the sun on her face.
Being that Alaska's so spread out, day trips with Ava are just not practical. Do you feel so pretty? Mm-hmm. Every day, pretty much from here on out, is a day that we thought we'd never have with her. The summer is really crucial for us as a family. Do you want to go now? Make a wish? I'm sure her wish would have been just more family fun and playing with her sister.
Great Alaskan Holidays and Make-A-Wish Foundation have worked together in the past.
Oh my gosh. It's so pretty.
We came up together with the idea of doing a travel trailer.
So her and I were in tears actually when we saw it. As long as I've been there, I've never seen that kind of a wish.
There's a project. This is crazy.
Plenty of room for setting up her therapies, clean space for the medication. It came with a generator to power her equipment when we weren't hooked up. It came with everything that we needed.
More so even in 2020 than ever before, it's very important for us to give back.
We already have a ton of photos of the girls, but a lot of them are just inside the house. Our goal for this summer is to create as many memories outside with the girls. I imagine camping for anybody with kids takes a lot of time and effort, especially with Ava. She travels like a rock star. all of our medications, all of our respiratory therapies. It's not like if we miss something, you know, we could just go to a store and pick it up. All right.
Go, guys.
And just like that. It's a good kind of starter place. You know, we don't have to go very far. It's a pretty easy drive. It's a lot of trailer for my little truck. When I was a kid growing up, some of my best memories were camping in a tent and just being outside, and I think that's really important for us.
My hope was just to keep everybody healthy and enjoy the summer and enjoy Ava and enjoy each other. Just get us out of the house and get us out of Anchorage and just get us out places that we've never been, Ava's never been. It's so nice out. How was your first night in the camper? Say hi! Ava! Help my sister. Don't push it too fast. Most people, they look at Ava and they just see, you know, maybe 1, 2 expressions. Because we know what Ava was, you know, when she was 6 months and 9 months and what she was still like at 18 months. We see those things. Yeah, are you talking? Okay, good.
Hey, you.
Really?
No.
Yeah. They're still there. They're just so faint, but they've never really disappeared. Can mommy come in?
Well, this summer's been real special because of the Make-A-Wish with the trailer. It's allowed our entire family to get together multiple times, many more times than we do in a typical summer. A chance to see grandparents on almost a weekly or semi-weekly basis, which has been wonderful. So we've got to see her develop.
Being able to share the camping, the trailer, and going places that I've never been before, and living in Alaska for many years, this has been a great experience for me just as well.
Pour down rain. See, we can tough it out, right? You get really appreciative of seeing a handicap sign. Those become like little gems of places because we can go there as a family.
Two things that never leave her side is her suction machine and her feeding pump.
Her food was never pick it up with 2 fingers, eat a Cheerio type.
No laughing till you eat it. Okay.
It started to really slow down, and her purees were coming back out of her mouth. We got advised to do a swallow study. What we found is that she was aspirating. Pneumonia was one of the ways that you lose these children. For me and for Dan, it was a no-brainer at that point. All of her foods, medicines, everything went G-tube. She filled out and she looked happier and healthier, and it was like the best decision we made for her.
What are you doing, babe?
The first summer together, spent some time kind of exploring north.
I think Susitna had a little place in our hearts, just being a cool spot that we had been to before, that we had memories. So the last time Kristen and I were out here, Kristen had this little bug zapper, and she was clearing them out. At about 11 o'clock last night, they grouped up. They sought vengeance. We were honestly looking for every little crack, crevice, how they were coming in. We were shutting windows that even had screens on them. It was war last night. Kind of surprised we made it out of here alive.
It started like at midnight. Like I killed a couple and I'm like, Dan, do you have any mosquitoes? He's like, yeah. And then like they didn't stop for 2 or 3 hours.
It's not funny, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
What are you guys making for the day?
I think we're gonna not stay the night.
Because Ava can't see very well, if at all, it's important to get her other senses excited. The best place is probably Seward. If you can give her some sounds to listen to, and then some movement, and then the sun on her face, like that's the ultimate for her.
Okay, go. Go, Ava. Go, Ava. Hey, Reagan.
Throughout the day and then at night, positioning plays a really big role. where her arms are, where her legs are, where those contact points are, how her spine's aligned, how her hips are situated. We have a bunch of little stuffies that we can stuff in between her legs to keep her hips in alignment. Nights can usually be pretty hard. You're constantly up, you're constantly suctioning, you're constantly flipping her over, so there's usually not a whole lot of sleep when you sleep with her.
That's the laugh I remember. That's the laugh. That's the laugh.
I'll take a rag.
Ooh.
My favorite now?
Yeah. Go, 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 go.
You're too excited. Oh, still going a little bit.
We're just breaking this whole thingy.
Oh, you got a little bit more behind.
Little spot right here, right on the cushion.
Did you get that on video?
I did. Those are precious memories we're gonna want to keep.
I see we get a fire started soon.
I see in her when we're out being around the voices that she's familiar with. I feel like it's been a good experience for her. I think she seems to enjoy it.
Does it feel good, Ava? Does it feel good? The wind? We got a site that we were eyeballing. It's got a view of the glacier. It's a pull-through site, so even though Dan now knows how to back up really well, it should be a good, quick pull-in setup camp.
You know, we have pictures for days of Ava in her hiking pack going all over the place. Now, Reagan is old enough and she has enough muscle control that, you know, it's time to put her in the same pack Ava had.
Get some movement going, some fresh air. We don't have the vest with us, so any kind of movement.
She really liked it. She's starting to track things. It was a totally new experience for her. At Willowall, they have a great boardwalk area.
For Ava's wheelchair, it's hard to beat that.
You know, it offers that vibration, and that just helps to clear her lungs out. Because she's not as mobile as most other kids are, she gets a lot of buildup in her lungs, so we have to twice a day, make sure that she gets her respiratory treatments. She inhales all the albuterol, and that kind of helps break up some of the gunk in her lungs, and then we put her on her vest. The vest simulates moving around. That bouncing and that activity keeps all that fluid out of her lungs.
So, Kristen, what are we doing today?
Photos, family photos, wedding family photos, minus the wedding.
So explain the situation for me.
It's 2020. Ava Rose! Whee! Is that so fun? Whee! Ava! How fun is that?
Ava Rose.
Yeah.
Ava, what you think? So pretty.
Can't really have a wedding during a pandemic with Ava and when all your family lives out of state.
We canceled everything except for the photographer.
Those were some of the most important parts of the wedding would have been.
Well, I'll never make that mistake again. So we pulled up to the spot here. There's a little bit of a slope. I didn't end up chalking the tires. I was putting the jacks down, and all of a sudden, the trailer almost slid right into my truck. I mean, it was like a foot away from it. It ended up stopping, but that's my lesson for today is chalk the tires. It could have been so much worse.
Because of the miracle that happened with this camping unit, the family has been getting together multiple times in different camping locations, getting outside and having a great time with Ava. During the time of this COVID-19 deal, we can still do family get-togethers and be just with ourselves. She's a little miracle, and it's really been wonderful to experience life with her as well.
Look at you sitting up all strong, shaking, baby.
This is kind of our first time being a parent again, so all these things are just amplified.
Oh, you're so strong. Whoa, Reagan.
Hey.
So strong.
You know, one day when we were at home, you know, she got up on a tabletop and she started rocking back and forth, and then pretty soon she just put one hand in front of the other and then didn't stop.
Go, Reagan, go.
Kristen and I have been parents for 3.5 years, and we never saw a crawl.
Yeah. Whoa.
So I think gentle is probably Reagan's first word. Anytime she's near Ava, you know, gentle.
Aw, did you just give her a kiss, Reagan? You give her a kiss? Aw, that's a kiss. That's a little more of a headbutt. Aw.
Ava, we're packed up. Is that a smile? I see a smile. Get your food on section. Everything we need. Ava, do you have anything you want to say? Huh? Do you have anything you want to say? I'll take a cute smile. That's perfect. I love you. Yeah, okay. Is that what you think? You had fun, huh?
My favorite spot is probably the Quartz Creek that's on Kenai Lake, simply because it's an area I always wanted to camp but hadn't had a chance to do it.
The best way to describe it is it's a bucket seat that sits on top of a beanbag. And what it does is it just provides all the support that Ava needs. It was originally purchased a long time ago by one of our Tay-Sachs community members.
She's the 7th affected child to have it, so it's been passed down from child to child to child.
And when she outgrows it, then it'll be passed off to the next kid.
Who knew the glorified beanbag would go so many places?
For a special occasion.
Francie's birthday.
Francie's birthday.
Ava, sing happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Francie. Happy birthday to
Our world would be, I think, a lot tougher without Francie. She's kind of like our rock in this midst of Tay-Sachs craziness. Yeah.
Originally, when our optometrist diagnosed Ava, she said, I noticed something, and the last time I saw this was about 20 years ago. She had diagnosed a little girl named Emily.
In 1999, I met a family with a little girl that had Tay-Sachs disease. So I used to help with all of her daily care and her night care. In my opinion, quality of life, everything that they can experience in their short lifespan is important.
So that includes finger rubs for the pig night?
It includes feet rubs and finger rubs and massages. Right. And walks, being outside. So with Tay-Sachs disease, most of the children cannot manage their own secretions. So therefore they can't cough up everything and get it up and bring it out. We want to remove all those secretions so they don't aspirate back into their lungs and get pneumonia.
Saliva that falls into her stomach, that liquid has to be vented or ejected, or else she'll have a seizure and throw it up. If she throws it up, then there's a possibility of her aspirating it. She gets fed through her J port, which goes to her jejunum, and then the G tube is there just to vent the excess gas and liquids. We'll typically vent 10 to maybe 20 milliliters every couple of hours, but at this point, things are starting to really ramp up in terms of volume. We had no idea why. She had a really hard night, and she threw up a couple of times, so I feel like there's a lot of stuff just in her lungs, so we need to do an extra good job today of just breaking that stuff up. And she started wheezing really hard in the middle of the night. And the last time I heard that, we had to take her into the hospital. She had bronchiolitis, and then that turned into aspirating pneumonia because she was throwing up. So it was like the same thing last night. We just can't end up in the hospital, not right now.
You know, we didn't know what was going on, but she wasn't looking good and things were just not right. It was kind of like pulling teeth, trying to get like an answer or get going in the right direction. It's just hard when Ava doesn't talk. Because, you know, Ava's Ava. Little things become big things very quickly.
Going to the hospital was always kind of bittersweet. Because Mandy was an employee at the hospital, there's a little plaque there that recognizes her. So every year on her birthday, I always post a picture, but I don't have many pictures from around that time. I want to make sure that Reagan has plenty of pictures, plenty of video, plenty of memories that she can look back on and not be limited. She had a large obstruction in her bowels, prohibiting anything from moving down, so it was just coming up.
She was severely dehydrated. She had a UTI.
Ava, was that a lot of shaky shaky for the big night? Ava, that was lots of shaky shaky for the big night.
Day 5, yeah, she finally cracked a smile, and you could tell, like, okay, the antibiotics are kicking in, she's rehydrated, she's got her food, things are moving.
Anything you want to say right now? Say, get me out of here.
It's a lot of work. I mean, caring for Ava is a lot of work, especially when these kids are a lot of work. But if you're doing all that work, you're not afraid of doing some more. Getting her out of the house is going to be a lot of work, but it's worth it because when you look back, you know, we weren't in the house. We were on a trail or we were doing something new as a family. The work doesn't weigh on you later as so much as possible regret.
It's meant a lot to Kristen, having the ability to get out and go camping and spending time with the family. I think it's been very special for her. Sitting around the campfire and just warming up and having s'mores and hot dogs is just, it's my favorite, just being together as a family.
You know, we do a lot of caring for Ava, caring for Reagan, trying to care for each other. It's always nice when the grandparents can watch Reagan and Ava, and Kristen and I can do something for ourselves.
Stuart has some gorgeous hikes, and this was definitely a top one.
It's nice to be able to spend a little bit of time with Kristen again and kind of reconnect with some of those things that we have passions for.
It was definitely something that I'd been wanting to do, and I'm glad that Dan also felt the same way.
So this is the place that we started off at, Willowa, and this is our second to the last spot. And hi, how's it going? Huh. The blue jay literally just landed right on the camera. Oh, and then it took a freaking turd. We got one more trip this year, and then we're gonna winterize this thing and wrap it up. Told you, this bird is just like haunting me.
I definitely think we've evolved faster. We've had to address harder issues. Most parents don't face the terminal illness of their child. Not makes or breaks you, but it definitely puts some strain and it forces you to go in a direction. And so thankfully, Dan and I have gone in the same direction. And, you know, we both love Ava and love being parents to her, so.
Where we're at today is a state campground up by Denali, and I'm not going to give out the names of it because it's a wonderful place. And we just discovered it.
I'm fairly spiritual, so I think she is my little angel. She was given to us. We didn't know we needed her. I think most kids start like that, you know. Without her being who she is, our lives would be a lot less, would not be as rich.
Ava, I see them smiles. Are you messing with him?
Ava.
There he is. That's him.
They send us emails with their updates on the experiences that they have. For all the wishes that I've done, I've never had a family send the pictures after. So for me, that's really neat to see.
It was really exciting to see the whole process. It was my first wish, and to see that take place was really amazing.
You always remember your very first one, and every one of them, there's something special that you take out of that.
You know, it's a beautiful state out there. Why not help as many folks out like the Redfields as we possibly can? Because everybody deserves to adventure.
It gave Ava the chance to return to the place she loves and to continue those adventures she started off with. And for Kristen, it was the opportunity to spend the time with her family in the outdoors and leave nothing behind. And as for me, I got my chance to give Reagan the things I don't have. The greatest memories we have with Ava have all been outside, and to give that opportunity to Reagan, it was everything.
But you see some photos and you see video, and you kind of, maybe it spurs a little bit of memory of certain things. Maybe she's too young for that, but I think any amount of photos and video, like, that's going to be important to her.
Just the time that she spent, I think those are going to be the moments that she's going to treasure.
Do it to Ava. Up, 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 up.
We can kind of share this talents. If we can help anybody just have a good time and adventure, and then, you know, have a good video and some photos to go with it, because that's just so important.
Oh, look at us. It's
Oh, there's my helmet.
together. Oh, Dan, I love it.
I see that one.
Oh, look at all.
Without her, it wouldn't be here, so it's just kind of a piece of Ava.
It'll be her legacy. It'll be what carries her memory forward.